Thank you for tuning into Firebase Prime, your source for tips, tricks, and tutorials to make your life in the Fallout 76 wasteland just a little easier. Tune in every week as I take a deep dive into new Fallout 76 topics, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell if you'd like to be notified when new videos drop. Also, if you have a specific topic that you'd like me to make a video about, let me know in the comments down below. In today's video, I'll be covering the ongoing Treasure Hunter event currently underway in the Ash Heap region, providing you with my first impressions, where I've had the most luck, and the community resources that I've found most helpful and getting the most out of my grind. If you're just now getting started with the event, not to worry, as the event has been extended, now lasting until this upcoming Wednesday at noon Eastern, meaning you still have plenty of time to get all the rare plans before they disappear with the event. So, without further delay, let's get into it. In the Treasure Hunter event, a new type of mole miner called the Mole Miner Treasure Hunter has temporarily been added to the game, with the chance of spawning at any outdoor, non-event, non-scripted enemy spawn point in the Ash Heap region. Killing a treasure hunter works in much the same way that Scorched did during the Holiday Scorched event, except that instead of dropping Christmas presents, they're guaranteed to drop a mole miner pel of varying quality. The most common type of pel that you'll find is the Dusty Mole Miner pel. The Standard Mole Miner pel will be a little less common, and the rarest drop of the three will be the Ornate Mole Miner pel. In addition to looting these pels, you can also buy empty pels from vendors to make your own Mole Miner pels at Tinkerer's workbenches. If you have the caps to spare and are looking for the event-specific plans in particular, any standard or ornate pels that you craft actually have a higher chance of containing the plans compared to dropped ones. In terms of the exact odds, Reddit user Gilpo has assembled an epic spreadsheet that goes item by item and pel by pel, which I'll link to in the description down below. In terms of plans specific to the event, these include plans for a circus cage trailer for your camp, an insurgent outfit and separate hat, the marine armor helmet, a Radstag hunting knife, a safari Crocolossus backpack, and a treasure hunter outfit and separate hat. In addition to these plans, each pel, regardless of quality and acquisition method, has a chance of containing various weapons and armor plans, including some of the rarer ones such as a plasma grenade and various types of power armor. You can also get mounted head plans, with the rarer tier of the mounted heads being limited to the ornate pels. Finally, each pel will also contain some scrap and aid item. Basically, from a loot perspective, it's the Holiday Scorched with better stuff. To aid you in narrowing in on nearby mole miner treasure hunters, a unique directional audio clip will begin to play when you are near one, increasing in volume as you get closer to the hunter. If you hear something along the lines of radio static being drowned in cowbell, you're on the right track. While this has proven incredibly helpful in tracking down treasure hunters in larger locations such as Welch, I think Bethesda could have implemented this a little differently. As pointed out by a user on Reddit, relying on directional audio for zeroing in on treasure hunters leaves hearing impaired players at a significant disadvantage, as the audio cues will do nothing for them. While this won't be as much of a problem in some of the smaller locations such as Camden Park, where potential spawns only seem to occur in a very limited number of areas, it will make finding hunters in areas like Welch a nightmare, as oftentimes they hide out in houses and other places that can be very easy to miss if you aren't wanting to tear the entire place apart. To fix this, I don't think Bethesda would necessarily need to remove the directional audio, but instead of leaving it at just that, maybe add in a new tracking radio station for the event to show some sort of distance information in notifications. A similar approach is already used for some quests, and it would go a long way in making the game much more accessible. I've also ran into problems with tracking audio from other players on my team being picked up in player voice chat, leading me to search for enemies that don't actually exist. But to be fair, that's more of a problem with my team's mics and not Bethesda's. Either way, I feel like I'm going to be hearing that sound in my head for months to come. In terms of where you should prioritize looking for treasure hunters, some locations definitely fare better than others. Reddit user Ipin, I hope I'm saying that right, has posted a map documenting the locations that most reliably produced hunters during their grinding efforts, which I'll link to down below. But for me, 3 locations in particular have stood out thus far, which I'll go through now. Coming in at number 3 is Camden Park, located just below the Nuka-Cola plant and on the Forest Ash Heap boundary. While it's a decently large location as a whole, treasure hunters appear to only spawn at the bumper car rink located on the northern end of the park, and the southernmost sections of the area is located inside the roller coaster tracks at the southern end of the park. While you won't find more than 2 hunters at a time on a good day, at least one seems to spawn a majority of the time, making it a reliable location to visit for the event. Next up on my list is the Mount Blair Train Yard, located near the center of the Ash Heap region, just to the south of Mount Blair itself. Treasure hunters can often be found inside the location's main structure, as well as the 3 smaller warehouse structures that sit just to the west. I frequently left with 2 or more pels and can reliably expect to find at least one on a majority of trips. While it's a larger location, enemies are grouped inside the location's structures, so it's a pretty quick location to check, especially with directional audio removing the need to fully clear each location if you're running stealth. Finally, the best place by far for locating treasure hunters has been Welch. You're pretty much guaranteed to find at least one, but will more likely encounter at least 2 in most visits. The only downside to Welch is that locating the hunters can be a real challenge at times, as they'll often hide within the rundown remains of houses, generally surrounded by other mole miners. Directional audio and VATS will greatly aid in zeroing in, so make sure to have your headset ready and AP regen at a good place. Keep in mind that this location is massive, stretching from the edge of town that frequently hosts the Real Blast event, to the housing remains located just to the west of the Overseer's previous home. If you're bored with these locations or are waiting for the next wave to spawn in, any location in Ash Heap that spawns enemies outside of interior cells and scripted spawns has a chance at spawning in the treasure hunter. They can spawn in with any other enemy type, so don't give up if you don't see any other mole miners. I found them on many occasions with other types of enemies such as ghouls or super mutants, so just keep your ears peeled for radio cowbell and have your AP ready. That's it for today's video. I hope this guide helps you in your farming efforts and wish you luck in your treasure hunting endeavors. Check the description down below for links to Gilpo's epic spreadsheet of data around the event and Ipin's map of locations that you'll have the best luck visiting first. I'll be back next week with a 2-part series around joining the Enclave and launching nukes, but I'd love to know if you have a topic that you'd like me to make a video for in the future. I want these to be as useful as possible, so if I'm missing a major topic, let me know. But until next week, for the Enclave.